Hello everyone, and welcome to the True Awakening audio guide. Today, we're sharing the essence of this article's theme, which is this really fascinating idea that inside each of us, there are actually two competing selves. One is the source of all our daily stress and anxiety, while the other holds the key to a lasting, deep sense of peace and happiness.
It's probably one of the biggest questions we can ask, isn't it? We get so caught up in our day-to-day lives that we just forget to check in with what's really happening on the inside. What if the person you think you are is only part of the story, just a fraction of it?
So here's how we're going to map out this inner world for you. First, we'll identify these two selves. Then we'll really get to know that noisy ego, or jiga. After that, we'll discover how to awaken the quiet true self, which is called Sati. We'll look at meditation as a practical tool for that change, see what a life led by the true self actually looks and feels like, and then we'll finish with a question just for you.
Right. So at the very heart of this is a constant inner conflict that I think we all feel. It's that battle between the endless stream of thoughts, feelings, and worries in our heads, and this much deeper, quieter sense of just being, a sense that often gets completely drowned out by all the noise.
Exactly. And the source material gives these two selves very specific names. The ego, which it calls jiga, is described as a kind of temporary mask we wear. It's built from all our accumulated thoughts and feelings. But underneath all of that is our true self, called Sati, which is this fundamental core of pure, stable awareness.
Okay, so let's get to know that noisy roommate in our heads a little better. What exactly is the ego, or jiga, and why does it cause so much trouble for us?
You know, a great way to think of the ego is like a construction project that's been going on since the day you were born. Every single thought, every emotional reaction, every desire, it's like another brick in the wall. It feels so solid, it feels like us, but really, it's just an accumulation of temporary things. It's not who we truly are at our core.
And these points really lay it all out. The ego is fundamentally unstable. It's always changing based on whether someone gives us a compliment or a criticism. That's what makes it the source of our anxiety and stress. And it's trapped in what the source calls the law of karma, this endless cycle where even moments of happiness, like getting a promotion, are fleeting and quickly followed by new worries. It's always looking for the next external thing to make it feel okay.
Okay, so that's the problem. Let's talk about the solution. If the ego is just this noisy mask, how do we actually connect with the true self, or Sati, that's hiding underneath? The key here isn't to create something new, but to awaken what's already there.
So what is Sati? It's described as our pure, stable, and unchanging essence. And while you might see it translated as mindfulness, the source argues the absolute best word for it is awakening. It's not just about paying attention, it's the very consciousness that is aware in the first place, and it exists completely independent of our thoughts or what's going on in the outside world.
Now get ready for this, because this idea from the source is pretty startling. For most of us, this core awareness, this Sati, is only about 1 to 3% active. Just think about that. The other 97+% of our inner world is completely dominated by the noise of the ego. Imagine the potential if we could just increase that number. And these characteristics really show the incredible contrast with the ego. Sati is stable. It doesn't get rattled by life's ups and downs. It's the source of a genuine inner peace and joy that isn't dependent on anything outside of you. The love it radiates isn't possessive or conditional. It's universal. And this, the source claims, is the very state of being that historical figures like the Buddha awakened.
So the big question is, how do we make that shift? How do we turn up the volume on Sati and quiet down the ego? Well, the source presents meditation not just as a relaxation technique, but as a powerful, practical technology for this inner transformation.
This is the crucial point. The real goal here isn't just to feel calm for 10 minutes. It's an active process of purification. The source uses this beautiful metaphor of transforming the black, chaotic energy of our thoughts and worries into the red, pure, and stable energy of our true awareness.
And the process itself is surprisingly straightforward. You start by focusing your awareness on a physical sensation, like the feeling of your feet on the ground as you walk. Then, you let that focused awareness expand through your entire body. As you do this, that small 1 to 3% of Sati begins to grow, creating more and more inner space. And in this space, the black energy of the ego is just naturally purified, until your whole being is filled with this awakened state. By the way, You can watch the video version and see the complete slides via the YouTube link inside this article. We highly recommend experiencing the visual immersion of the light particles there.
Yeah, and this isn't just some abstract inner feeling. It fundamentally changes how you experience your life. So what does it actually look and feel like when your true self is in the driver's seat?
This comparison just says it all. The happiness the ego is always chasing is external, and because of that, it's always temporary. You get the job, you buy the thing, you find the partner, and for a little while, it's great, but then the feeling fades. Inner fulfillment from Sati, on the other hand, is unconditional. It comes from within you, so nothing and no one can ever take it away. It's stable, it's permanent.
That quote really gets to the core of it. When your inner being is filled with Sati, that endless hungry craving for more approval, more food, more money, more distraction, it just dissolves. It doesn't go away through willpower, it disappears because that inner void you were always trying to fill is already full.
And here are the results in your daily life. Your mind is no longer a chaotic battlefield. It becomes a sacred, quiet space. That gnawing feeling of wanting more is replaced by a deep contentment. The sort even says your communication changes. When you connect from a place of Sati, you can understand others on a much deeper level, a state it calls oneness. You're simply free from the emotional roller coaster of everyday life.
Wow. We've covered a lot, from the noisy ego to the quiet true self and the path that connects them. So to wrap this up, let's leave you with one final thought to carry with you. Now, for the deeper details, please take your time to read the text below. There is a special kind of stillness found in the written words.
The constant chatter of the ego demands our attention every second of the day. But if you could just turn down the volume for a moment, if you could listen past all the worries, the plans, and the judgments, what wisdom is waiting for you in the silence? What does your own inner core of awareness have to tell you? Explore the truth at your own pace. This is the beginning of your own soul's journey.